Here is the Avast Security News Roundup for the week ending April 16th, 2021. Facebook expands its oversight board scope. Facebook made an announcement this week that it had expanded the scope of its oversight board to include appeals against content that has been left up to either Instagram or Facebook after someone had reported it. Previously, the Oversight Board would only review appeals against content that had been taken down. The new purview grants users the right to file an appeal against either decision. Removing content is a delicate matter, commented Avast security evangelist Louis Carones. At the end of the day, it could be considered censorship of published information. While there are certain topics that are clear, like breaking the law or the platform's code of conduct, others are more ambiguous. Comprised of 40 diverse members from around the world, the Oversight Board comes into play only after Facebook's regular content review process has made a judgment on reported content. Because Facebook and Instagram receive so many requests for appeals, after such a judgment, the Oversight Board handpicks which are of critical importance to public discourse and or raise important questions about Facebook's policies. Is this what caused Facebook banning New York Post's articles? April Patch Tuesday updates focus on Exchange server attacks. According to a Microsoft Security Response Center post, this month's security updates focus primarily on dealing with the series of recent attacks that have affected Exchange server everywhere. This month's release includes several critical vulnerabilities that Microsoft recommend you prioritize, including the updates to protect against new vulnerabilities in on-premise Exchange servers. These new vulnerabilities were reported by a security partner through standard coordinated vulnerability disclosure and found internally by Microsoft. Because of this threat and the severity of the CVEs associated with it, Microsoft advises that, given recent adversary focus on Exchange, users install the update as soon as possible to ensure they remain protected. One thing they did mention, though, is that the customers using Exchange online are already protected and don't need to take any action, since the web app is always the latest version. Clubhouse says data breach was not a breach. After 1.3 million Clubhouse user records showed up in an SQL database on a popular hacker forum, the new and trending social media platform was thought by many to have suffered a data breach. But a tweet from Clubhouse informed users there was no breach nor hack. The data was simply public information available to anyone. It included users' ID, names, photo, URLs, usernames, Twitter handles, Instagram handles, numbers of followers, numbers of account followed, account creation dates, and invited by user profile names. While the information does not include passwords or credit card numbers, it has sparked closer scrutiny at the security and privacy measures, or lack thereof, used by Clubhouse. Read more on Cyber News. Cyberstalkers aided by WhatsApp online status. Even as Apple and Google endeavor to remove all stalkerware apps from their stores, cyberstalkers can still find tools to track their victims, particularly with apps that log WhatsApp online statuses. A new blog post by the developers of the Trace app delves into the WhatsApp privacy loophole that enables stalkers to observe their victims' WhatsApp's behaviors through legitimate apps offering the service under the guise of tracking one's minor children. These apps live on the stalker's phones, which obviates the need to surreptitiously install anything on the victim's phones. Someone of the WhatsApp status tracing apps even allow users to compare two different WhatsApp accounts. giving them visibility as to whether two users were on at the same time, perhaps talking with each other. Anyone who believes they may be being stalked can seek help from the Coalition Against Stalkerware. Scammers target funerals of COVID-19 victims. The U.S. Federal Trade Commission issued an alert this week that scammers are taking advantage of a new Federal Emergency Management Agency program that offers financial assistance of up to $9,000 to help pay for the funerals of victims of COVID-19. The program just started up this week, and phishing emails are already circulating, posing as the government offering to get people registered for assistance. If you receive one of these emails, remember that the real FEMA will not contact you unless you've applied for assistance. FEMA will not ask you to pay anything upfront to receive the financial help, and it will not ask you for your Social Security, bank account, or credit card numbers. FBI hacks unsuspecting users to remove backdoors. The FBI has obtained court approval from the Southern District of Texas to hack into hundreds of unsuspecting users' computers in order to remove a vulnerability backdoor that has been placed there by cyber attacks through January and February 2021. The attacks targeted thousands of Microsoft Exchange servers in the U.S., inserting a web shell in their systems that would allow for future access and hacks. The attacks were publicized and patched in March, but the FBI notified that several hundred U.S. computers did not remove the web shell. Gaining court authorization, the FBI hacked into the vulnerable systems, usually without the owner's knowledge, and programmed the web shell to delete themselves. Read more on The Verge. New Microsoft Exchange patches that SMBs should apply immediately. Even if you need to apply patches last month, you'll need to do some again this month. Last month, we told you about a series of critical vulnerabilities in Microsoft Exchange that were under attack. We urged small and medium-sized businesses to take immediate action to patch, as well as determine if Exchange systems might have been compromised. This month, Microsoft has released a new series of patches for a new, different set of critical vulnerabilities affecting Exchange. The bad news is that if you need to apply patches last month, you'll need to do so again this month. The good news, right now at least, is that these vulnerabilities are not under attack. However, Microsoft says clearly in their security advisory, we have not seen the vulnerabilities used in attacks against our customers. However, given the recent advisory focus on Exchange, we recommend customers install the updates as soon as possible to ensure they remain protected from these and other threats. And that wraps up this week's Avast Security News. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.